Are you ready to transform your normal e-commerce business into one that experiences exponential growth year after year using online advertising? If so, this show is for you. Me and my guests will show you how you too can grow your e-commerce business to 7 or even 8 figures so you can go on more luxurious vacations, spoil yourself and your family, say yes to more opportunities, and become financially free so you never have to worry about money again. Welcome to the E-commerce Performance Marketing Show. Hey guys, welcome back to the E-commerce Performance Marketing Show. So in today's episode, I'm going to talk about something that is super critical and also super relevant right now. So as many of you might already know, especially if you're running e-com business or you're running Facebook ads, right now Apple has just released their newest iOS version, which is now preventing Facebook ads pixel data from firing on mobile devices. So when you're on an iOS device, whether it's a tablet or a phone, you now have to approve of apps like Facebook to be able to get access to your privacy use. And so therefore, it really prevents Facebook from being able to track everything that you're doing on your mobile, which then goes back to affecting businesses, marketers, and advertisers using Facebook ads to be able to derive a result. So if someone, for example, visits a page or does a purchase on their mobile, Facebook won't know, and therefore it won't report back to your Facebook ads. And therefore, the Facebook ads algorithm won't be able to take that action, that data, and be able to find similar people that have done those ideal actions. And so, this definitely can be very scary for a lot of people, especially when you think of it and you find out exactly what's happening here. But just like in business in general, you've got to react, you've got to pivot. You have to pivot your strategy, you have to pivot your approach, you have to pivot your process. This way you can still get results from your Facebook ad campaigns, and you totally can. I totally believe it. Facebook's not going anywhere. It's a big, big company. There's plenty of people on Facebook to advertise to, and if you're gonna be able to tap into that channel for what it's worth, you have to pivot, you have to adapt your strategy, and you have to change based on what's happening right now in that specific advertising channel with this iOS update from Apple. So here are some tips on what you can do to still get incredible results using Facebook ads while pivoting your strategy and your approach. So the first thing I have for you is separating your placements in your ad sets. So when you're running ad campaigns, you can choose to target different devices. So you can say, okay, in one ad campaign, I'm gonna have these 2 ad sets targeting iOS and Android. So this way you can separate your ad spend if you're doing it on an ABO ad spend budget optimization level, or if you're doing it from a campaign budget optimization level, you're telling Facebook to get you the best possible results, but allocate my ad spend based on where I'm getting the best results between those 2 different ad sets. And by setting it up this way, either way, you're gonna be able to either by leveraging Facebook's algorithm or by doing it yourself through management, you'll be able to get your best possible return on your ad spend by setting it up and segmenting the different placement options between iOS and Android between ad sets. So that's one way you can really adapt your strategy and your approach and your process when it comes to Facebook ad setup to get the best possible results. Also, this really highlights how important it is to get your own data. Because when you have your own data from your list, you'll be able to be much more effective as a marketer and an advertiser, especially now that Facebook ads isn't going to be quite as effective on a mobile device. So here are my tips for that. Do more surveys throughout the year. Plan them ahead so they are smoothly executed. And when you're doing these surveys, ask good critical questions about demographics, about psychographics, like what's your number one problem, what's your number one challenge, or why did you decide to check out our brand, or why did you decide to purchase our product. Ask them those types of questions, and then segment people in your marketing software based on those responses, because then when you've had enough of a list built up, you can export based on those segments, and then you can import those into custom audiences, and you can get very targeted with your ad campaigns and targeted with your messaging in those ad campaigns and your offers to be able to get better and better results from Facebook ads. So you really just need to really get as much data as possible from your audience using your marketing. And we're a big practitioner of the Ask Method process by Ryan Levesque. We consistently implement deep dive surveys in clients and brands that we represent. I coach my coaching clients as well in my ARM5 Formula Accelerator to use deep dive surveys frequently throughout the year as well. So I definitely recommend that you do the same. This way you're getting more and more data from your audience or from your customers or both. Okay. Also, if you're using surveyfunnel.io or bucket.io to do surveys, the nice thing about both those softwares is you can implement your Facebook pixel, and you can then also use pixel segmentation, meaning that when people answer those questions and they pick a response to each of those questions throughout the survey, the Facebook pixel will fire and will essentially tag that person with that response, and then shoot that data back to Facebook, and then you can create custom audiences based on responses instantaneously, so you don't have to do it from your marketing software and then export and then import, create a custom audience. You don't have to necessarily go through that complicated process by using these two softwares and using the pixel segmentation feature that is built into both of those softwares. So definitely check those out. I definitely recommend that you do surveys on a consistent basis, whether you use sophisticated softwares like that or you use Google Forms. Either way, do surveys, because you want to get as much data as possible from your audience and from your customers. It's going to help you with your marketing. It's also going to help you with your Facebook ads, especially as you respond to this change right now in the Facebook advertising world. Also, when you want to get a lot of data that you can use for your advertising to get better at targeting, messaging even, and if you want to go above and beyond surveys, there's a service called towerdata.com. I've heard about it years ago from Roland Frazier, the great Roland Frazier, who is a legend here in the digital marketing and just business space in general. He's super smart. And you can use Tower Data to learn more about your Facebook acquired customer and or email list. So if you are using UTM links, which definitely Google those if you're not already, because you should be, UTM links allow you to create custom links in your ad campaigns. This way, those links have values attached to them that are attributed back to an ad creative or an ad set, an audience, or a campaign, and you can use that data in Google Analytics. But you can also use that data in a lot of marketing softwares. Like, for example, Klaviyo does a great job of this, Shopify does a great job of this, where you can actually segment your marketing reports based on UTM data that's coming in from people clicking on those links from your Facebook ad campaigns. And so therefore, let's just say that you've generated a substantial amount of customers from Facebook, and you know it because you're using UTM links. You can go to your Shopify sales reports. You could pull up the Facebook, UTM source in your in your Shopify sales reports. Well, now you can export all those customers that you've acquired from Facebook specifically, and then you could import them into Tower Data's service, and they'll push you a report giving you a ton of details on that customer list directly from Facebook, which is going to allow you to then go back to your Facebook ad campaigns and apply what you've just learned from that Tower Data report. This way you can get better and better and better at your targeting or on your creative, on your messaging, to be able to get better and better results. Again, this goes back to what I said earlier, get more first-party data, and this is another great service, a great strategy to use to be able to get more data from your customers that you're generating from Facebook. So also going back to what I said about using UTM links, now you definitely want to use those because it allows you to really track much more effectively, very granularly when it comes to ad creatives, audiences, and campaigns on every channel, whether it's Facebook ads or Google ads. But also on top of that, when you're using UTMs, you can then go to Google Analytics and you could pull reports using those UTM filters to really be able to segment and see your Facebook performance in Google Analytics, or your ad set audience performance in Google Analytics, or even your ad creative performance in Google Analytics. This way you can review your Facebook ads performance as accurately as possible, because Google Analytics is the de facto reporting tool for a website or a funnel, any web presence basically. Google Analytics is the king when it comes to reporting. And if you were using UTM links in your Facebook ad campaigns, you'll be able to go to Google Analytics and get accurate reports instead of leaning on Facebook ads reports, which are almost accurate, but they favor themselves for one. And then two, on top of that, because of the fact that with the iOS update, iOS devices will not be reporting actions back to Facebook as actions happen when users are navigating on their iOS devices. It's going to give you more data that you can use. So this way you can then learn from that data and you can apply your lessons into actionable actions you can take with your Facebook ads use. So I definitely recommend that you start to migrate over to using more Google Analytics and also UTMs. Or if you can, if you have the budget for it, upgrade. Instead of using just Google Analytics, because it's free, use a more sophisticated software like Wicked Reports or Hyros. I'm a big, I really vouch for Wicked Reports. I'm a big fan of Wicked Reports. It's a great software. We use it as a standard with all the different clients that we've had in the agency over the past year and a half now or so. We established it as a standard for any new clients coming on board. And the reason why is because Wicked Reports is quick to set up, and also it gives you accurate data when it comes to Facebook ads or Google ads and other channels as well. This way you can really see what is working and what isn't. Plus there's a number of different attribution reports that Wicked Reports gives you access to. This way you can find out what little hinges are going to swing big doors when it comes to first click attribution or first customer acquisition attribution. You can see reports on those different attribution models, and then you can also focus in on your ad campaigns to really focus on what's working to get you those first clicks or to get you those first time customers or to get you those repeat customers back, because there's reports specific to that in Wicked Reports. So Wicked Reports is fantastic. I don't have a whole lot to say about Hyros. I've just heard good things. I definitely recommend Wicked Reports because I use it, we have it, and I definitely recommend it. And then finally, two more tips here. So look into companies that have pixel services. So there's companies that are emerging right now. I know a guy here locally, for example, that owns Smarter Pixel, I believe it is, or Smart Pixel. It's one of those. And basically there's companies coming out that allow you to have your own pixel to essentially emulate what Facebook is already doing for you to date. Where Facebook, has a pixel, you install it on your website or in your funnel, and then you're also able to install custom codes and events that fire specific on your website or specific in your funnels, and then Facebook grabs that data. Well, instead of Facebook grabbing that data, you can actually go to some of these services and use their services to do the same thing. And the nice thing about this is undercutting. So this is undercutting what iOS is doing right now, because iOS really is, I don't know what it is about Apple versus Facebook, but Apple is really like taking a position against Facebook. But they're not taking a position against some of the smaller companies that are selling pixel tracking services to essentially replace Facebook ads pixel tracking. So it's a huge opportunity for you to jump in, get access to a pixel service like this that can replace Facebook. And the sooner you do this, the smoother it's going to be to go from using Facebook ads last year to using Facebook ads this year, because these new pixel services out there, they show a lot of promise, and because of the fact that they undercut what's happening right now with the iOS updates, and they'll give your advertising as much data as possible as people take action from your ad campaigns. So I definitely recommend checking out some of the pixel services out there. Just Google advertising pixel services or pixel tracking services. There's ones emerging all the time, and I'll definitely be talking more and more about that stuff throughout 2021, because I know that there's a few companies emerging that are in beta, for example, right now that won't be in beta soon, where I can talk more and more about those. But definitely recommend that you check it out. Check out what's out there. Maybe jump on board one of those as a beta user possibly and test and see if you get better results versus using just the Facebook pixel. I do feel like that can give a lot of companies that are early adopters a huge advantage in your market. So definitely check those out. And then finally, the last thing I want to say here is that, so one thing that's happening too is you have a limit to the number of events. the number of events that you can have with your Facebook ads pixel. So you're now going to be limited to 8 events. Now, for some people, they might freak out, but honestly, I don't think that's a big deal, because to me, you just have to change your approach, change your process a bit, and get all your events down into those 8 categories. But the nice thing about using Facebook ad conversion codes is that you can actually add additional variables to each of those codes that fire for each of those conversion events. So let's just say that we're talking about 1 out of the 8 events, the purchase event, which is obviously probably the most popular event that anybody really focuses on when it comes to Facebook ads. So if you have a lot of different purchase events that you want to segment out, that you're used to segmenting out, well, you can have a conversion code firing on thank you pages for different products. And you can have each of those conversion codes per thank you page have content type or content name in the actual conversion code. So you can then tell Facebook, this is a purchase event, but here's some additional details about that purchase event. This way you're segmenting purchases from different products in this example. Now you can apply this to just about anything. Like if you're running a lot of different lead magnets, for example, and you're used to having more than 8 conversion events to be able to manage all your free offers out there, well, you can roll it all up into one event, the lead generation event, and you can have additional values per lead magnet. So this way, when that gets pushed back to Facebook because someone signs up for one of your free offers, Facebook also gets those additional variables, and then you could pull up Facebook ads reports based on those variables, so you can truly see the difference between your different free offers that you're advertising using Facebook ads. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. You just have to use conversion codes, not URL tracking for conversion, but conversion codes. And you have to install those conversion codes, on the thank you pages of the offers that you're driving people to. Or if you're driving people to content to build awareness, you have conversion codes on maybe some of your content pages as well. Either way, you want to use conversion codes, and then you also want to use some of the additional variables that you can put into those conversion codes that you install on your pages. And there's different variables for that. There's content type, there's content name. And there, you could even do like a currency, you could even do price. There's all sorts of different values. I would definitely recommend that you kind of Google Facebook advertising conversion codes, and you can learn more about that. And if you're interested in learning how to really apply all this stuff, I definitely would recommend that you kind of lean on an expert. We, for example, have a 96-page SOP that my company uses and I share with my coaching clients. So this way they can do some of this simple stuff because it's all right there in the SOP. It makes it very, very easy. So with that said, those are my recommendations on how you can really react and respond intelligently when it comes to the iOS update and still get awesome Facebook ad results. We're all going to be learning as this happens, right? So don't give up, don't fret either. Don't stress about it. Just react. That's it. Just react and pivot and move forward. And really measure and compare and implement some of these strategies so this way you can get the best possible results. And also just find out, what's working now consistently throughout the year, especially early on here because of this iOS update coming out here in January. This way you can learn from myself and also others on how to get better and better results as more and more lessons come in from running Facebook ads. So I know I'll be sharing quite a bit. I know other experts in the space will be sharing quite a bit as well. So that's what I would recommend. This way you keep your ears open and you hear what's happening out there with other Facebook advertisers, and you can learn from what they're doing and you can apply what they're doing as well. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode of the Ecom Performance Marketing Show. If you're interested in working with me here in 2021, go ahead and click on the link below to apply for my ARM5 Formula Accelerator. This is my 12-month mentorship program where I can work with you throughout the entire year, and I can help you scale your business much faster than you trying to figure it out on your own. This means less wasted ad spend. This means more results faster. This means more success faster. This means more freedom for yourself and your business. And I've got a great group that I've been building over the past several months as I launched this middle of last year. So this is a great group that I would love for you to be a part of if you're a driven, coachable e-com business owner that has aspirations here in 2021 and you want some help to get there as fast as possible. I can definitely help you do that. And on top of that, I just to tell you guys, as I record this, so today is Wednesday, January 13th. And earlier today, I actually did an all-day event just for my Accelerator group, and I invited some of the best online. I mean, I had Ollie Bilson, I had John Lee Dumas, I had Adam Lyons, I had Kim Walsh-Phillips, I had Brenda Mendez, I had Nahal Kazim. So I had a great group, great lineup. Greg S. Reed, and all these experts came on this one-day event, and the second day is tomorrow, and they basically just gave tons of value to everybody in my mentorship group. We allowed people to get on hot seats, ask questions, get feedback, and I mean, I've been getting emails and messages and texts from all my coaching clients since the end of day one, just with thanks, and also with questions about how to organize, what to implement, so this way they can prioritize everything. But either way, they received powerful, actionable feedback from some of the best entrepreneurs out there in the online business space. And I'd love for you to be able to be a part of that next time we do this. And so, and this is how. All you have to do is just click on the link below and apply to work with me in my ARM5 Formula Accelerator, and you'll be invited to be a part of my next virtual event with some other experts as well. So go ahead and do that if you are a driven, coachable e-com business owner with big goals here in 2021 and you want to get there as fast as possible with less headaches and less wasted time. Thank you for tuning in to the e-commerce performance marketing show. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment with a timestamp of your favorite part and share it with a friend. Until our next episode, here's to you and the success of your e-commerce business.